Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build this stove and oven that look as though they are powered by a wood fire. You can do cooking, canning, and baking on this, and I'll also be showing you how to make this little sink in the bamboo fountain for you to do your washing up in. To start both of these, you need to build a basement so that the objects you place in the basement do not intersect with the footprints of the ovens. This is so that the game does not count them as clipping, and it won't give you one of those can't do this errors when your sim goes to try to cook on the oven. I'm using these tiki torches from the Island Living expansion to get the fire, but you can also use the brazier lamp from the Get Famous expansion. And I'm just clustering the flames closer together so that it's not just a bunch of individual flames, it looks more like a fire. I'm also taking some of them and shrinking them down and raising them up a couple of key presses of the 9 button so that the flame from them will go up a little bit and make our fire look a little taller. I'm shrinking them so that you can't see them above the ground. Now, to make the fire appear, you have to go into play mode, and you can see here that I had originally placed them with 3 9 key presses, and that made my flames too distinct from each other. But once you've got that figured out, then you just raise your platform until the fire is visible above the ground. Here I am raising the little torches back down so that my flames are all one piece. I'm also going to come back in later and fill the room in fully with tiki torches instead of just in the middle, which I forgot to do at first. Now I'm putting in the Show Hidden Objects cheat, and I'm typing in Burning Wood. This is from the Outdoor expansion, the Outdoor Retreat expansion. And I'm raising this wood up and putting it inside of the flames so that it looks like firewood. I like to start with a base of pretty evenly placed logs and then kind of go a little more wacky on top of there with more angles and heights and things to kind of emulate a campfire. This part takes a while because you cannot shift click place these logs. You have to grab them individually from the debug menu. Unless of course you have the better build by mod, I believe it is, but I cannot remember mods to save my life, so I just don't use them. Here I realized that the wood was clipping a little bit with the ground, so I raised each of the logs up 1. And now I'm taking 2 ovens, and I'm using off-the-grid ones so that this can be as rustic as it appears. And what you're doing here is you're just going to go down into the basement room and raise up this grate. It's actually not meant to be a cooking grate, it's meant to be like an overhang for a door. And you just raise it up to where the cooking surface of your oven is. And you shrink down your little ovens, and then you can hide them inside of the firewood. I'm placing more tiki torches here because I realized that the oven placement was going to make the fire look wrong if it wasn't filled out more. And I'm adding the second layer of torches here to give the taller flames. And now I'm going back in and adding more firewood. I'm going to have the sim playtest. This is so that I know exactly where to place things. So first I'm going to have them bake something so that we can figure out where to put our lower grate. Sims can use size down objects, and since these objects that are looking like the oven are all actually in the basement, it won't intersect with the size down ovens, and it'll, you know, without these things, just look like they're cooking on midair. Now you can alt place these grates as long as you start lower down on the wall and then raise them up with 9. Then you can alt place up and down to get them more precise. And once you've got it working so that they can cook on both surfaces and the grates are actually level to where they're supposed to be, that's the hardest part of the oven. Next, all you have to do is put some walls around it. And what I like to do is put a platform too, so that you don't look right into the oven like that. There's a bit of a decline down into that area. So I put a platform around and then put in some half walls. I start with just regular walls and replace with half walls, but whichever works best for you. Then I add in some spandrels here and some columns to finish up the edges, and a new trim on the half wall. The thing that the half wall is nice for is that they can put a completed dish down on it, which, more counter space. I also like to put this little pot rack here because I feel like it adds a good touch. And if you want to be a little bit more realistic, you can add a platform up here and a chimney on top of it. The chimney will even smoke, which is, you know, perfect. Now to make the sink, you do the same thing, starting with a basement. And we're going to be using this island living sink because it's also off the grid. And we use the end table that looks like a big stone from the outdoor retreat expansion. And you raise it up in the basement so that it's level with the ground. And then use a couple of those to make the base for your bamboo fountain, which you will also raise up from the basement. I usually find that you need either 2 or 3 to make this, depending on how you place them, because I don't like to have the bamboo floating or the wood pedestal. Now you line up the faucet from your sink with the faucet of the fountain, and then you shrink the sink down and add in a light in the basement so that the rock is no longer dark because the basement room is not lit. I also recommend adding wallpaper and flooring to all of the rooms in the basements because even if they can't see them, it will upset your Sims. So that is how you make that, and I have included all of them in this lot that I have made here. It is up on the gallery if you would like to download it, and is available unfortunately only as a lot and not as a room because of all of the different rooms that I had to put in to it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in another video.